broadcasting, and the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bryte. We're gonna burn some Bryte.
Burn some daylight.
Oh,
It's time for adventures with the Mew Crew. So I'm Christiana Ellis. I'm the game master. Our players tonight: Paul Weimer as Yondu,
Hi there.
Nobilis Reed as Erasto,
howdy.
Lee Burdett as Basket Case,
Hello.
and David Archambault as Nova Itala.
Hi.
We do not have James Silverstein as Urzaz this week, so I think Urzaz is just going to be a bit in the background in this episode. But let's talk a little bit about what happened last time on our so many burn brights.
We burned up some daylight.
You did? Mm-hmm.
And some cultists.
Yeah.
And rescued a lot of people who are now crowding Mew.
Yes. So you had infiltrated the Daylight Cult's spaceship where they had taken over an abandoned Kithuk space station called the Inferna, and were using it to try to convert kidnapped civilians either into converting or as sacrifices to Gulmak, who they believe is some sort of a godlike entity living inside the burn, this crazy destructive aura that surrounds the galaxy. But it seemed like they also had a plan wherein, by staging a kidnapping in a much more obvious location, they hoped to attract heroes who would come, and the plan was that those heroes would be defeated by the Daylight to show Gulmak's power and earn more converts. Didn't go like they hoped.
No.
Yeah, so with the combined efforts of all of you on the Mew crew, you rescued a bunch of those prisoners with a little help from another Eno character named Cielo Vaxen, who none of you really know this guy. He just kind of also showed up at the same time, seemed to also be against the Daylight, so enemy of my enemy, I guess, but he certainly seemed to just want to tell you to stay out of his way, and blew up a bunch of stuff while you were rescuing all of the civilians, and then everyone got away together. And so Nova Itala, this strange hotshot, seems to have sped off into space, going his own way, wherever he's headed next. All of you have 49 rescued passengers currently aboard your ship, compared to your normal crew of 4. So, pretty crowded. Everyone's kind of standing around. Everyone's very happy to have been rescued, so there's no hostility there. People are being pretty tolerant so far of the crowded conditions. But where we are right now is we're going to pick up pretty much just right where we were. Everyone is still exhausted. You've not slept or anything yet. Erasto has started beckoning over the more stressed out looking passengers, offering pharmaceutical assistance with their worries. So what would any of you want to do before you go ahead and just get underway?
I want to get together with Mew and Basket Case because I figured out already that if we just go the way we're going, a normal route without any changes, I'm going to miss this spaceship contest that I would really really like to enter.
Yes. So specifically, what Mew has informed you, and as you were doing some calculations, laying in the course and so on, is that because there's so many more sentients on the ship right now, more power is having to be directed to life support. Now, that's not going to be a problem in and of itself. The replicator is going to be limited to more simple foods. The air processing is going to have to be slightly reduced compared to normal, but it should be plenty to keep everyone alive for as long as you need to. But because you're diverting more power to life support away from the engines, you wouldn't be traveling as quickly as normal, and therefore you would not make it back to Ozabni in time for the race, as Yandu mentioned.
So getting together with Mew and Basket Case, since I consider Basket Case the engineer sort of mom of the ship, father. sorry, sorry, misgender. That I want to try to make it back to Ozagni anyway.
Are you doing
And
this like maybe in the cockpit or?
Yeah, in the cockpit.
All right, so I got basket case there, and
'Cause you can come over, and there's not a lot of room on the ship at the moment, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the cockpit or bed or the
Yeah.
shower, and that's about it. It's just not a lot of room for anybody.
yeah, I think a lot of the people have kind of tried to clear out of the busier areas.
But there's only so much room, yeah, especially
Yeah.
even below decks, yeah. Because listeners and watchers remember, our ship is almost kind of like a space galleon. The top of it's kind of like force fielded and open to the sky, and we have stuff below decks. So think Treasure Planet the movie, and kind of got the image of what we're going with here.
Yeah. So I think you all may have even sort of implied like, yeah, maybe clear the bridge. What this we've got to make sure everything's set.
Yeah.
So, if we're going to do this, I can think of two things that we can do. One is to alter our course that we go by a number of high gravity objects, say large stars, large planets, and if we can find a neutron star, that would be great to try to basically boost and go through slingshot ourselves faster than we normal. And maybe if we can also overhaul the engines just to give that little extra boost, maybe we can get back to the station in time for the race. So I wanted your input / advice / waving me off or encouraging me to try to do this. Because I don't want to risk damage to the ship, health of the people, or anything like that. It is a race, and I do want to enjoy the race, but we got 49 people. Was 49 we saved?
Yes.
Something like that?
40.
Yeah.
We have 49 people plus the crew to watch out for, so they come first.
So
But I would like to do this if possible.
Mew rolls over and sort of flares up and just says, from a safety perspective, continuing at our current levels would be the safest course. There is no current risk beyond the normal, unexpected nature of space travel. However, if we were to do anything other than this to either boost engine efficiency or improve the route via slingshotting and so on, each of those does represent increased risk.
Okay, how much increased risk?
That
I'm
would
also watching
depend
for basket
on what
case
you want
reaction,
to
too.
do.
I'm also looking for basket case reaction here.
I think this is
probably cut this down pretty fast. Just say, no, we don't do this, and then we just don't do this.
Yeah. I think this is something that Basket Case would know more about than I do. It's one of those weird situations. Can can I roll engineering and like just see what he knows about this?
Well, what I'll say is that any of these are going to represent, like what I said, is that they are possible ways that you could improve your speed or travel time, but with possible risks of things like getting worse, right?
Right.
Like, obviously, zipping around big gravity wells in order to slingshot involves going pretty close to gravity wells. It's a difficult maneuver, and there's potentially high risk if you mess it up. Right? And especially if you have to do that more than once. That does not mean that, like, I'm not shutting any of this down. I'm just saying this is how mechanically we would do it if we do those things.
Right.
Is that, we would have probably a number of different checks that would be related to, plotting this course and then making the actual piloting activities to try to achieve this added speed. But then also, if you wanted to improve the power generation of the engines and so on, that would also potentially increase your speed and your power level, but at a possible cost either of damage to the ship or that, something gets overloaded or that sort of thing. Something, might need to be repaired.
Yeah, which then, so I think the way Basket Case is looking at it is like, all right, so you want to get to this race thing. And obviously you don't have another ship to fly in this race, so you need to get this ship to Ozobni in raceable or with minimal damage to the systems in time to enter the race. So if we soup up the engines, we might to get back sooner, we might end up missing the race because we have to make repairs. If we slingshot ourselves, we might end up missing the race because we have to make the repairs.
In an effort to ensure that all options are being considered, if we were to offload the passengers, that would also improve our speed.
Yeah,
that's true, but that's a non-starter. We contracted, we promised to do this, and like I said, if it means me missing the race to get these passengers back safely and happily, then I miss the race. But I would like to make the race, but if we can't do it, we can't. If it's going to kill us all or cause damage, that's going to cost tons of argent to fix. So I was looking to bounce this off of you before we say yay or nay, and we just go on our merry way or not. I mean, theoretically, Arasto and Nova Utella should have input here since they're on this ship as well. I want to start with you because you're the engineer, as it were. I mean, if you shut this down here now, then we don't have to involve them. We just go forward and
the engineer and the ship. The engineer and the ship.
And the ship, yeah. So all right. So I think I'm going to come down on the side of not going through gravity wells, and I think dropping the passengers off on a habitable planet would be understandable, but again, if we don't deliver them back to Azabni, we won't get paid. There
would also be the possibility,
not to mention their health and well-being.
Well, there could also be the possibility that if there was another ship that you could dock with, and then that ship takes the passengers back, you could go ahead, but you would need to make those arrangements.
Yeah, and split the rescue fee and the rescue reward.
Yeah, right. So that's.
Yeah.
I think we're coming to the unfortunate conclusion here.
Yeah. The other thing that I was thinking about is if we try to miss it, or if we try to make it and we can't, then our patron is going to be out a lot of money for no reward, and we're probably going to have to pay them back.
That's
However,
fair.
if we can contact him now and tell him, "Hey, look, we're slowed. We rescued nearly 50 people, so we're slowed down. We're not going to make it in time." He has the chance to not enter us in the race. We've still have
Save his
open
money.
communications, and the next time it's like, okay, well, next time we'll try to keep an eye out for new races, and if this is something you want to risk on us again, let us know, and we'll try to make sure that our slate's clear for the next one.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the mechanics of this work, Christiana, if you can't actually progress in a
Well, I mean,
in the thing.
but it's pretty straightforward. Either if you're not able to complete the activities, then you don't progress. And if it seems at a certain point like it will be impossible to continue it in the future, you could potentially, choose a new story path. But I think that's premature.
It might be, but I'm just thinking ahead as Also, we're kicking the tires of the system, and
Yeah.
maybe one of us has to give up a story path there just to see how that works.
Well, I mean, that's theoretically possible. The way that would generally be handled is that if you feel like it is no longer desirable or feasible to continue on your current story path, then you can choose another.
Okay. Thank you, Mew. Thank you, Basket Case. I think our options are clear. We will contact our patron, tell them the situation, and we'll go from there.
Sorry about that.
No,
Better
no,
let-
what
All right,
these things
so-
happen.
So this is all still like the night of. You're still like you're an hour outside of the station at this point. So are you doing that all right away, or?
Yeah, there's no point in delaying pulling off the Band-Aid here.
All right. So go ahead and you call up Zaspar.
Yep.
All right. So you dial him up via the complement. You got Zaspar. Tell me you're not blown up.
We have good news and we have bad news.
Okay.
Okay, the good news is we have 49 people that we've rescued from that space station, which probably by now has now entered the burn and is destroyed and dead and gone.
There's no probably about it. You saw it happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's. Wow. I mean, like, I didn't even know that kind of news was on the menu. But I mean, that's great. Good.
That's the good news. Here's the bad news, and so that's a lot of people for this ship to handle, which means in order to keep those people hale and healthy for the trip back, we're going to have to reduce our speed, and as a result, I am not going to make that race.
Okay. So.
Yeah, this puts us in a bind, but
Well.
in order to have the life support for 50 extra people on this ship, the engines are what's got to go, and
Well-
so it's going to be the slow boat back to the station, as it were.
Do you not recall though that who I work for?
Yes.
The Cosmo Overguild is in charge of transportation. This is what we call a solvable problem. So, here's what I'm thinking. I'm remembering that I'm a Rornan and that's my voice. I'm sorry, I just had a cigar. It kind of, did that to my bugs. So, if you just rescued a number of prisoners from a cult that were kidnapped in a very well publicized attack. That does not make me want to sponsor you in the race less.
Well, that's not the problem. The problem is getting those people back is going to make me miss the race. Just by the laws of physics and magic.
So I'll assume you send him the little,
Yeah,
the numbers, and he just says, or I could arrange one of my other existing ships that's already en route close to you to meet up with you, take the passengers on board to allow you to come home back here ASAP, and then they return at their own pace.
True. That would work.
Now, that would require, some adjustment to the, the profit margin of whatever that venture is, which I'm happy to eat as a risk, but I think it would probably need to come out of the other end if you do win.
I understand. Let me confer with my colleagues right now. So I'll dial up Nova Utella and Arasto. I'm
Actually-
assuming Best Cave is still right there. So.
Yeah.
Actually, Noviatola just kind of comes around the corner, grumbling to herself. I hope we never see that guy again.
Nova Utella.
Yeah? What? What's going on?
We're discussing options for me to get us back to Arasni in time for this race.
Ah, that's good.
And I go ahead and I explain the situation.
Yeah, being up another ship sounds like a good idea. Especially if we can get some of these
Yeah, like
excellent people off.
yeah, when you were coming up to the bridge from the gun, like you're literally having to say, like, pardon me, excuse me. Look, I know you were just a cultist prisoner, but that doesn't mean you can't take 5 steps. Thanks. Okay,
Right.
move on. All right, come on. Yeah.
But I can't help but think that there's a few extra Ronan around, and like sometimes their swarms get a little out of control. It's like very distracting.
Wait, is this one mine or yours? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, go ahead. No, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue bug, red bug, green bug. Where did this purple bug come from?
Yeah, getting some of these civilians off would be really nice.
All right.
And Arasto?
The only
What's Arasto's input?
Arasto's dragging up a bunch of civilians as far as
Arasto might not be happy losing his customers. That's true.
I would imagine you have shipboard communication, so even if
Yeah.
Russia didn't come up to the bridge,
yeah.
but also busy, so I think you can decide how responsive Arasto would be.
Arasto is quite engaged with his current activity. Yes, he's guiding a number of people through a
Yeah.
Guiding.
So I
So
feel
now
like
experience.
the text message equivalent is you send the message, Arasto, we have a question for you, and then you see delivered, ... typing, and then nothing.
Arasto not helping.
All right.
You know
So Arasto is abstaining from the conversation. Okay.
Okay. So do we have a quorum of agreement?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Then I will turn back to the call. Your offer is accepted by the crew.
Spectacular.
you.
I have let me take a little while to determine the specific arrangements. I will let you know in the morning who you will be rendezvousing with and where, but I am sure we can come up with something that gets you here in time.
Thank you.
Nope. Yeah. Next thing we should do is probably call the what was her name? The Peacecraft that put us on this mission.
I mean, I
I
know I could, but
I can't remember myself.
I know.
And
I'm. That's why I'm waiting to see if any of you remember.
I don't remember her name. It a
Was
couple
it
sessions
Jade?
ago.
Jade.
I don't remember the last part of it. I just remember that was what the Ronan was squeaking about.
Yeah.
Jade.
It was, of course, Jade Crucible, your buddy from
Crucible.
the ARC.
Ah.
Hey, at least I remembered her first name. There are sometimes I can't even do that in real life.
yeah, we should call her. And let her know
That's
that-
okay, Scrap Heap.
Oh, ow, ow.
Yeah.
yeah, call her and let her know that we finished the mission, even if they might be coming in by a different ship.
By the slow boat, yes.
Yeah. I think the one last message you get from Zaspar before that is to as much as you can keep things on the down low because I've got a media campaign in mind.
Oh boy. Okay, so I will keep it on the down low,
Just for now.
just for now.
All right. So you're calling Jade Crucible as well.
Yep.
It's like, oh, hello. It's good. It's good to hear from you. Were you able to catch up with the cultists?
Yes, we got to the station. We rescued a large number of their prisoners and we're headed back.
Oh, that is such good news. That is so great to hear. I hope it wasn't too dangerous.
We rose to the challenge with some aid from others who were also there
Well, I tell you,
fighting the cultists.
Cree and I and the ARC, and of course all of those people you rescued are just very lucky to have had such heroic and capable individuals come to their aid. It really warms up my heart. So, tell me, I guess, how many were you able to rescue?
49.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize they had taken that many. Are they all from Obzobni?
We don't know.
I don't know. We haven't had a chance to interview them. They are rather crowded on our poor ship here. So
Oh, I can
we haven't had a
imagine.
chance to have a real good debriefing of them yet. I mean, they also have been through a traumatic shock and being
Of course. Now, I understand that, this is a lot to ask of anyone already, but I would definitely just say, don't rush them. They've just had a traumatic experience, so you can get me the information whenever you're able, but there's no rush. The most important thing is that they feel safe and secure where they are now. It's actually probably pretty good that it's going to be 2 weeks or more until you get here, because too many changes too quickly is just going to reactivate the trauma.
That's true.
All right.
He
No,
said-
do you need
my
anything?
heart's going. Oh.
Do you need
Well,
anything? Is
no.
there anything I can do to help you on your while you're on your way?
If we can think of anything, we will let you know.
Is there any need to send more ships out there?
Not to that station. The station is gone.
Gone. Oh, like all
Destroyed
the
by
way-
the burn.
Well, that's
It was
pretty
right
gone.
on the edge of the burn. We got out just before it went kaboom.
Oh, you were in the nick of time then.
We were. If we had delayed or dallied, these people would not have survived.
That is incredible. Well, now that I'm seeing you on the screen, it looks like you've been through a lot. So, I'll let you get a night's rest. But you did great. We'll be in touch with more information, and just let me know if you need anything, and we'll we'll make this work. And I'll definitely have more questions for you, but they can wait.
Alrighty then. See you, Great Crucible.
All right. She signs off.
I need a polish and a nap.
Yeah. We could all use that.
I'm not so sure a polish works well with your fur, though.
Species equivalent.
She's equivalent. I'm being pedantic.
Yeah.
I don't
it's
know.
my
Your
rock
claws. It could work well with her claws.
My claws actually aren't in that bad of shape. Of all the parts to not get damaged.
Yeah. Your beds are currently occupied by some of the passengers recovering from their burns, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be sleeping in this chair. That's okay. I've done that before. I'm going to get a crink in my neck, but one does what one must. Besides, the bridge actually has room to breathe. So,
All right.
Yeah. So, are we going to tell the passengers that we have arranged for a different ship with more room to try and get them home? Or we wait for tomorrow?
I think we wait for tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean, why even wait an extra day if necessary, depending on how long it'll take for the extra transportation to get here. But give them time to adjust the idea, but also give them time to adjust from having just been pulled off of that station. So we got to balance those psychological needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, give them a little time to get to realize that this ship is really not meant for so many people. That way, when we say, "Hey, we're going to send you to a different. There's a different ship on the way that'll bring you out, and they'll have more room, and they can be like, oh, good."
Yeah. Fewer queues for the bathroom.
Fewer queues for the bathroom.
Wow. A ship made for like 4 or 5 people and that many people, there will always be a line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will be.
Mew estimates, does a little number crunching, is based on a preliminary analysis of the individuals in question based on age and species. I estimate that at any given time there will be an average wait of up to 15 minutes.
Oh.
So don't wait for hours.
Speaking as a female, that's not all that bad. In some places.
But that's all the time, the only bathroom, 24 hours a day for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or however long. Yeah. But
I hope it's not that long.
Well, if we weren't trying to offload them, it would be. So
yeah.
All right. So a lot of the passengers that hadn't already gone to take part in Erasto's
pharmacopoeia.
I was going to say
decompressing
pharmaceutical explorations. I mean, there's enough of them that they're kind of self-organizing a little bit, in terms of just starting to assign some spots to, you hunker down over there, you're the most injured, so you probably need to be in the bed, and they're doing some of that. But they're being very, compliant and cooperative right now because, of course, they're all just happy to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
So how's your initial, this is still in the early stages here, Erasto, but you have found after the first couple of these passengers go from being stressed out and terrified and in pain to being blissed out and tranquil. So as that happens a couple of times, more people come over. And especially at the prospect of, okay, and now we get to be in this crowded ship for 2 weeks, and I still don't know how to entirely process what has just happened. Yeah. That actually seems great right now. So yeah, you're getting.
Just I wish I had a better place for you to rest for this. It would be better if we had some kind of a bed or something. But hey, we got the let's find you a spot on the floor here, and I promise you that you will not be uncomfortable for long. And just start.
So, like, tell me what sort of you have such fine control over the various ingredients and substances that you are providing. What sort of chemical journey are you preparing for these people?
Well, I'm starting off with a something to calm them down, a tranquilizer, something, and kind of if they're in pain to blunt that a good deal, and just kind of leave them in a kind of a floaty state,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't want the foundation of this experience to be the trauma of the station. We want the foundation of the experience to be calm and comfortable.
Yeah.
And then once they're kind of in that state, then we start introducing the hallucinogens to kind of bring on the entheogens to bring on some interesting experiences to layer upon that. And I kind of go from one to the next and ask them what they're experiencing, and kind of suggesting sounds or things like that might incorporate into their experience, and monitoring them as much as I can. But there's a lot of them, and I'm probably not up to the task of keeping track of all of them perfectly.
Well, I think let's just for now let's have that. Let's see a complexity 3 medicine.
Alrighty. There we go. There's my character sheet.
Erasto's drug den.
Oh!
Oh no.
Oh,
That's not an auspicious way to begin this episode.
No. So I think that you are. Well, so let's talk about. I could of course roll the prompt unless there's some immediate thing that you can think of as.
Well, I think the obvious thing would be that somebody's metabolism doesn't react well to what I've given them, and they have a pretty bad trip.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that maybe that I think one of the Peacecraft
okay.
starts having panic about the burn, because of course the burn is this new and only way for them to die permanently, and so it was so close that you seem to have gone over the line somewhere and entered a paranoia territory, and they start muttering at first of but the burn, it can go into all different kinds of shapes. What if it's still reaching out for us right now? What if we didn't really get away from it at all? What if it's actually still coming for us? What are we going to do? It's still coming for us. Oh my God, the burn is coming for us. And it's starting to get louder.
Giving this Peacecraft some more sedative is probably a bad idea. So I'm actually going to call for some help from my friends to help restrain this poor fellow, because I'm certainly not going to be able to do it myself.
I think this is.
But
the
I
guy
have a
who's
problem down here in my area. I need some assistance, please, right away.
Hi. Do you call anybody by name?
No.
No. Okay. I was gonna see.
Well, I think it doesn't take long before and you can all hear that there seems to be a loud Peacecraft voice yelling about the burn, and certainly some of the others around there are starting to, they're trying in their own way to calm him, but you can see that they're getting rattled too.
Yeah, that sort of thing is infectious.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that I'm actually going to physically be able to get there.
I think this is a job for the Eno, David.
Yep.
Okay. Uh, hmm.
I'm going to try and just kind of verbally calm him down.
Okay. I think it's just complexity too, to kind of just try and get him back over
Yeah,
that line.
I'm going to let's see. What? Yeah, I think empathy would be one of the a good one to roll for this.
Straightforward for sure.
Yeah. I guess if it's complexity too, then
Yeah, it
Could-
doesn't really assistance really doesn't help in that case, but
Well-
yeah, so that's a success anyway. So I think what do you do?
I just laying my tentacles on him and speaking in a calming voice that you know what you're feeling isn't real. It's part of the experience. You're safe. There's no burn here. We're traveling away from the burn, and just you're just presenting a very calm influence there.
can Noitola offer basically some flavor assistance of just being like, "Hey, I'm a kitty. I'm soft and enjoy and nice tactile sensation."
I think he probably does like that, but then there's also like this other Eno who's standing right here, and as you're doing that, he's looking at you and kind of like, some self-respect, man. or I guess, lady.
We have to do what we have to do to keep things peaceful.
All right. It does seem to work. He does calm back down, and a lot of the the others that were already kind of under the influence, seem to easily settle. They were able to let that negative thought just drift away. You do suspect that there were a couple of people who were maybe going to ask for their turn and are maybe not anymore. Like, if that part didn't look as fun. But you still have plenty of takers, for sure. But yeah, so as everyone kind of tries to sort of settle in and get some rest after such a stressful experience, is anything else anyone wants to do right away?
Nope.
Nope.
No, I don't
And
think
we
so.
curl up in one of the corners and just right in a place where coincident of equipment and just structure of the ship makes it a little warmer, and just go to sleep.
All right.
Because cats always find warm
Yeah.
spots.
So here's a question. I think, we've just established, I think, how tends to sleep. Cat-like makes sense. How does it work for everybody else?
Arasto has his tank.
Yeah.
He prefers to sleep in water if he can. I imagine that there are a number of other other gleams who are also in need of such things. So his tank might not be empty at this point. And in fact, there may be some injured ones who are using it. So under those conditions,
It's a crowded hot tub.
he doesn't have a tank to use. He because his gill fronds need to have open access. He basically stands head down in a corner and looks like a potted plant.
What about basket case?
I think basket case curls up in a corner and just kind of powers down a little bit. Kind of goes into a sleep mode.
So I guess Yandu's the only one that actually uses a bed, or if necessary, like now, sleeping in a chair, kind of like like a truck driver, almost like a truck driver in some ways, like crank the chair back if he can and still
I would think that Nova Utola would sleep in a bed if there was one available.
Yeah. No Utola is in a corner just out of necessity. She
Oh,
has
okay.
a very nice bed for a ship this size. but there's a one of the people that just happened to be caught in the blast she caused that has taken it, so she's not gonna argue.
Yes, we all feel a little guilty about the collateral damage of and those who were lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, there was just one that couldn't be revived, but they unfortunately had to leave them behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like everyone's very happy to be rescued, but there is just that little bit of a tinge of
There's that drop of ink in the cool, clear waters. Otherwise, shows we were not entirely successful.
But at the same time, you can't save everybody. Yes, Mew assures you with a gentle pat on the knee, which from Mew manifests as the ball basically going bonk into your knee, and just says, "If it is any comfort, you should know that it is statistically impossible to save all those who need saving, and you should celebrate the successes rather than mourn the failures."
Trying to fly ahead of the failures, but it doesn't always work.
Well, just try to remember the most important thing, and that is that George is safe.
George, we did save George from that monster, so I'm sure that Basquet's told you the story.
Yes.
All right, so everyone kind of settles in. Ship kind of gets quiet. I would imagine, does it go to like a low light mode, like just sort of night lights?
Yeah.
There, but
It
mostly-
has to. This way, you can see this bowl of stars up ahead,
Yeah.
above.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be a great way to sleep.
I mean, I don't imagine we have a lot of bright lights on anyways.
I mean, I got panels in front of me, but they're all down in low power mode. But yeah, it's like we have this, we have space and the stars above us to sleep to, and that's not nothing.
So there's a couple of hours go by, and then Basket Case, Mew. Oh, did we establish how Basket Case sleeps? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, he goes into a sleep mode.
Right. Okay. So you are briefly nudged by Mew that says, "I am sorry to disturb your rest mode. However, there is a message coming in. I am not sure. I don't recognize the individual in question. Shall I have them take a message for the morning?"
I'll take it.
All right. So, Basket Case, you answer it, and what you have is a voice on the other end here. Let's say it's a Zvoy, the big slug people, and currently not inhabiting another body, so just in the slug form. But you can see that there's a little dictation thing next to them that's like for taking notes, and they're on the other end of this video and just says, "Hello, am I speaking to representative of the crew of the Mew?"
Yes. What can we do for you?
Oh boy.
Hi, I work for the Azabni Observer, and we just wanted to do a little fact checking with you for a story that we're planning.
I'll see. I reserve the right to answer no comment.
Oh, okay. So should I just proceed, or?
Go ahead.
All right. So first, you've just confirmed that the name of your ship is the Mew, or Mew.
Mew.
Or just Mew. All right, Mew. How many crew do you normally muster?
And don't forget to count Mew. I think you count Mew too. So
Yeah.
You too?
Yep. Yeah. No, that's his evolved form. Right now, he's just Mew. Between 5 and 10 under normal circumstances.
All right. Can you confirm that your ship was present at the Kithuk Station Inferna this evening? In the last 8 hours?
Yes.
Great. Can you confirm that you were there to rescue kidnapping victims from the Daylight cult? Do you not know?
No, I'm no, my processor's just slow at this time of the evening. Yes, that is why we were there.
Excellent. Okay. Can you tell me how many you were able to rescue?
49 and 50 prisoners.
49 of 50. One was left behind, or was
One
not
was
able-
lost.
All right. Do you know that person's name?
No,
All right.
we do not have a list of survivors
Okay.
at this time.
Very well. I understand this is a evolving situation. I understand. So, what is the condition of the passengers, the prisoners you were able to rescue?
I would say on an average of fair. They're all heavily
They're asking
traumatized.
how many are healthy and how many are injured is what she's asking.
Well, I'm also including emotional damage into that as well.
Yeah. What's the condition is what was asked. So.
Yeah. So I think Basket Case would ask, are you talking about just physical condition or emotional?
Well, I mean, anything you think it would be of note. I mean, I'm sure it's a very stressful thing to be kidnapped by cultists. I can only imagine. Would you say that they are traumatized?
I would say that they are hurt.
Hurt. But is that physical
Yes.
or?
Both. We have some injuries. We have a lot of people who are very scared.
Yes, of course. Okay. Were you at the Inferna for the purpose of rescuing the prisoners, or were you there for some other reason?
What other reason would we have had to be at the Inferno? We are not cultists.
That's just what I was asking, is if you had any other reason. If the answer is
No.
no, then that's fine. All right. So, can you just confirm some of the following details here? You arrived at the station at approximately this time, and giving you times that are correct. It's like, and that there was another ship that arrived at approximately the same time as you were boarding the space station.
How did you get such exact timestamps?
I told you that I'm fact checking the information that we have.
I know. I am questioning the sources of your information.
I'm a reporter. I can't give out my sources.
Ask if it came from that guy.
No, because see, this is my thought, because if he has timestamps, then he was watching this.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, how exact are the timestamps? Like, hour?
I mean, they said approximately, and it was approximately. So it's not like at 8:57 and 14 seconds. It's more like saying, you were at the station at about this time, and at about that same time, there was another ship that was approaching and engaged with the fighters.
Okay. And from looking at him, he doesn't look like a cultist.
He's not wearing a robe,
Yeah.
but then again, Zevoid tends to not wear really much in the way of clothing when they're not in, when they're in their slug form. It's got a few little like accessories. There's like a gold ring around one of the little eye stalks.
Yeah.
Let me reassure you here. I'm just trying to get the correct information here.
You have correct information, but the fact that you have correct information concerns me.
I told you I work for the Zobni Observer. I'm just a reporter.
And your name is?
I didn't write down the name. Hang on. Hang on. What? So I'm just saying my hesitation right now should not be taken as suspicious. My name is Spiro.
It's
Spiro.
Spiro?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I thank you for the concern and well wishes for our fellow passengers, and I will be in contact with the Ozobni, with my people on Ozobni, who are arranging to get these people home.
So they are being returned to us.
And I'm going to cut the communication right there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to call Jade Crucible.
It rings a few extra times, but then it's just like,
That's fine.
oh, hello, basket case. Is there
Hey,
something I can help you with?
sorry to wake you out of your sleep mode. There was a Zobni observer reporter who contacted us for information. What was that?
Spiro.
Spiro?
Yeah, Spiro. But I'm trying to remember his species.
Zevoy.
Zevoy. A Zevoy named Spiro. Is he familiar to you?
Well, I mean, I don't know all the reporters at the Observer.
No, I meant did you contact the Observer?
No. Did you?
Okay. No. No. But I just wanted you to be aware that that this person had contacted us. Yes.
All right. Well, I mean, we didn't do anything that's not on the up and up. I don't see any reason you couldn't tell the Observer whatever they want to know.
Yeah, it was weird. The fact that he was asking questions with actual timestamps, I don't know how long he's actually been out here. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that, and
all right. Well, I mean,
we're still en route.
I mean, stay safe, but I don't know if you know of Zobni, but the Zobni Observer is a legitimate news source.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Mew said, if I receive additional messages of that nature, should I answer them or ignore them?
Ask him to leave a message.
Very well.
We can get back to him later.
So did anyone else wake up to be involved in that? I don't think so, right?
I
didn't wake anybody else up.
Okay.
I'll tell them about it in the morning.
All right. Okay, so who wakes up first the next morning?
I think Arasto is up to check on his quote unquote patients.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think they're probably doing fine. Like a lot of them really needed the rest, so probably a lot of them are going to get some extra sleep just from the stressful experience.
and I think Nova Utola would be up next.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As the
So,
lights come on and day hits the ship, as it were, the day cycle, then our pilot stirs to wakefulness,
yep.
unkink the neck, and go join the queue for the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, I think
Okay.
not only is there a queue for the bathroom, but the food replicator informs you it's been set into emergency mode and can only generate basically like emergency rations and caffeine pills. Can't do a regular breakfast.
MREs.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think MREs would be an improvement over what we get.
Mm.
You know, it's like it's fine. It's just boring. Yeah.
Protein paste.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boy, howdy, don't we want to get these people?
Yeah.
Things are
People are starting to stir. I think probably there would be enough activity that, Yondu and Basket Case would presumably be rousted. But like you can certainly assume that you got like a full rest and restore your health levels and all.
Okay. Good.
Sure.
And conditions?
So conditions, recall that the minor conditions. Did you not get all of those treated already? I thought you did some of that before already, right?
I don't think Basket Case got his treated.
Okay. Well, any minor ones would be cleared. Moderate ones would take a week to go away without being treated.
Yay!
But yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
whatever was in Nova Utola's eye that caused her perception to get messed up, that cleared overnight.
Yeah. Good.
Nice.
So Yondu and Basket Case, with the two of you up on the bridge, I think as you sort of come to consciousness, you realize that Mew's avatar is kind of just right there, and there's sort of a blinking red light in the center of the little plasma ball.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to all the messages and possible yelling, there was, and I'm just speaking over the crew band, so that everybody's aware. We did get a call last night from a reporter. It was weird.
Fast.
Yeah, and that they had timestamps of when we arrived and when Nova Utola's boyfriend arrived, and
I laugh out loud at that.
Did you get the name?
Spiro from the
Did you
Azabni
check that
Observer.
name against the newspapers, against their public site, and make sure that that's someone they recognize?
I didn't check the public site. I did contact Jade to let her know, to check with her to see if she had contacted anybody out this way.
Hatchie?
No.
So I'm going to make a computer's roll to try to confirm that there is someone who is named Spiro who works at that agency.
And is of that species.
Yeah, so I think that I'm not even going to make you do a check.
Okay.
Because you discover it comes up very easily in searches because it's the byline of the current massive headline on the Azabni Observer,
Okay.
which says dozens of prisoners rescued from Daylight Cult in daring raid.
Okay.
And there's a video story associated with it.
Great, we're famous, or at least a 9-minute wonder.
As you're kind of having this discussion, Mew says, you have 847, 852, 864,
Oh God!
800
Mew, just delete them all.
deleted.
Wait, there would actually be a useful one or two in there.
You gotta sort them out at least.
I was asked to delete them.
They'll start building up again.
Well, no, I'm just worried. Like, yep, I'll miss the race
Weren't
because
we-
it was that message.
Sorry, Arresto doesn't know about any of that.
Yeah. Maybe you should try and contact oh.
So, did you
player.
want to watch the video story that's on the Observer there, or like?
Yeah. How
Alright.
bad? Yeah, how bad? Yeah, bad did they make this?
All right. So you watch it, and this is clearly like this is like a partnering. The Ozobni Observer is multimedia, right? But so the byline is Spiro, but then you also have this video component, and it's good morning, Alaxis. I'm Sploot Kruger, and this is a kid that anchor here.
Yeah.
Ozobni breathed a sigh of relief tonight as we confirmed tonight that 54 sentients kidnapped by the Daylight Cult have been rescued and are currently safe and en route back to Ozobni. We all remember the horrific attack 2 weeks ago as brazen fanatics from the so-called Daylight Cult struck. And then it's showing like footage from the attack, various, cultists attacking people and so on. Attacking many sentients and kidnapping anyone they could drag back into their ships. However, now thanks to the heroic actions of a veteran from the Zhur War, these prisoners are on their way back home. And then it cuts to interview footage of Cielo Vaxin, who's clearly sitting in the cockpit of his ship. And he says, well, I didn't do anything that anyone else wouldn't have done. I mean, my mama raised me to help out people when I can. So when I heard that there were people being kidnapped off by the Daylight, well, I just had to help. And then it cuts to like a montage of video footage showing Cielo Vaxin's ship like dogfighting with the fighters as it approaches the space station, the burn looming in the background. You guys, because you recognize it, can see the Mew moving in towards the central airlock of the Inferno in the background. And then, let's see. And then there's also footage that looks like from a floating drone of Cielo Vaxin in his, mechanized wheelchair, doing all sorts of like fancy moves, engaging like laser gun battle with the cultists in the hangar. There's some footage of him blowing up some of their ships, and then voiceover of that is like, now I don't go out looking for trouble, but kidnapping folks off the streets, now that just don't work for me. And then there's footage of him in the what looks like the security room for the station, and he is looking at a screen where he sees you all loading people onto your ship, and him looking at nodding determinedly. Yeah. And let's see. I wasn't the only hero there that day. Some of those prisoners really kept their cool and managed to escape while I drew the cultists away. And the crew of that ship may have gotten in over their heads, but with my diversion and getting the fighters off their backs, they were able to evacuate the prisoners in time. And then there's more footage of his ship dogfighting with the remaining fighters as the Mew flies away in the background. And then so the anchor comes back. It's like, it would seem that this branch of the Daylight Cult was run by Oppo Medinivinkin and Ulran with ties to the ARC. But thanks to this brave hero, it looks like this chapter has come to an end. And it has a shot of the Inferno being consumed by the burn. Next up, is your plasma refrigerator actually planning to kill you? It starts to autoplay another story, but you can certainly turn it off at that point.
Yeah.
And I imagine, Seal of Accent or Novi is in the line for the restroom and watching this, and everybody around her is just like,
Yeah.
and it's like,
No, you don't understand. We don't need that kind of fame. That's a bunch of trouble.
Yeah, let the Daylight Call go after this guy.
Mew rolls over and says, "You have 42. You have 57. You have 83 messages."
Are any of them from people we know?
I don't know who you know.
All right.
are any of them from recognized contacts?
There is a message from Zaspar from the Cosmo Overguild.
Oh, that one we definitely want to take.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
where the yelling comes in.
This is where the yelling comes in.
So do you take that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what you have is like a message, and the message is, so I guess there was another piece of that whole thing that you didn't tell me about, and so when I told you to keep the whole thing on the down low a little bit, it seems like that's not a thing anymore. I'm not saying I don't still want to sponsor you, but this is going to need some PR control.
Oh boy.
So maybe I'm still working on the transportation arrangements, but it's a kind of there's a lot more eyes on this now. So I'll have to get back to you.
I will send back basically not contact her, but basically send them a voicemail saying, "Understood. We apologize for not providing all the information, and we stand ready to make what needs to be done or changes in plans."
Yeah.
Boy, well, who's up for 2 weeks of people on the ship? I know Arasta would really, really be happy if this whole thing. This would be Arasta's favorite.
Actually, since we're running out of pharmaceuticals and the synthesizer isn't able to make any more, that's less of an issue.
I'm just being aware and cognizant of the varying needs of the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, reporters dig, and yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you take a look at the messages coming in, there are a lot of media requests, basically, because there's, information that Cielo Vaxen didn't have personally, and so that's what Spiro was trying to, confirm with you, because he's actually being a good journalist. But so there's a lot of different organizations that are like wanting to see if they can get interviews to try to confirm like what's your current location, who are who are the people on there, because what they you get the impression looking through these requests that like what they're wanting at this point is footage to compete with that dramatic combat footage that Cielo Vaxen provided to the Observer.
Yeah. That we don't have.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, though, teary-eyed thank yous and confessionals from the prisoners who've been rescued, who just want to say how grateful they are to Cielo Vaxen. Like they're definitely interested in footage of that. There are certainly people who are, the shadier organizations that are like, hey, we know this Cielo Vaxen guy's got to be too good to be true. So, like, if you know that he's actually with the Daylight Cult or something and you can prove it, definitely let me, call me back. That sort of thing. Yeah, so there's a whole range. But basically, this has become a really big story that you are peripherally involved in, but technically you still have all the passengers. So there's a lot of attention on you now.
Yeah.
Maybe we should actually ask for volunteers among the passengers. See if who would who would be willing to basically tell
Well, we
the
need to
story of
we
what
need to do
happened.
them anyway. So
Yeah, that's probably be what the second day would be. Is like interviewing everyone, getting names and some information in case we're asked.
Sure. You get the impression too from a lot of these requests that it does seem to be like they are approaching it as though you collectively are the prisoners that Cielo Vaxen helped escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we do send out any information, it needs to include the fact that the Mew is a ship sent to, sent that, volunteered to go to the Inferno to rescue people.
Yeah.
I mean, the story didn't exactly say that wasn't true.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it's just
No,
his
said
point of view.
54. It said 54 prisoners, so it's counting us among the prisoners that were rescued.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more like there were 6 rescuers.
well, and he basically gives you the backhanded compliment of, you may have gotten in over your head, but at least with my help, you got you got out in time. So good job.
Sure.
Yeah.
Way to go, team. Yeah.
All he did was provide a distraction.
Well, he did provide a good distraction, so.
Yeah, I mean,
And distractions are valuable.
So you do get another ping that does seem to be a message from Jade Crucible, and the subject line of that one just says, "Oppo Medinovinkin was there?" Question mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, question mark.
Yeah, so let's actually talk to Jade.
So you call her back.
Yeah.
I hope you all had a good night's sleep, because there's a lot going on now, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yes, and not exactly redounding to our benefit or correct facts either.
Well, I was kind of hoping, not that the ARC does this sort of thing for the glory or anything, but I was kind of hoping that the mention of us in the news story wouldn't be that the leader of the cult had ties to our organization.
Ooh, we did not know that.
They did say at the end was the leader of the branch was Oppo Medinovinkin, and Ulran with ties to the ARC.
We were not aware of his ties to your organization.
It was a she, but that's fine.
Sorry. Yeah. We were not aware of the ties to the organization between Oppo and the ARC.
Well, I mean, like, if they had the name, the journalists could find out that. I mean, that was public record that she was in our roles, or used to be. We thought she'd gone missing.
But a lot of the story lies at the feet of not us, but the person who's taking credit for the entire operation and just lumping us as basically refugees and escaped prisoners.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm not going to pretend to be a media expert or anything. I can just tell you how this story is getting spun right now, which is that this is an amazing victory from a hero. And I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, people like that story, and I'm not sure that it's going to go great if you try to actively undermine that story. So, I would just encourage you, if you talk to any of the media about it, I would suggest you don't try to say that, I'm not telling you to be dishonest, but I would say don't emphasize anything I'm sensing a tone from you about Cielo Vaxen, and right now he's being celebrated as a hero, which I'm just thinking, if you come out as not saying that, there are probably going to be people who attack you for that.
So you're saying he basically won this media war and basically has spun.
I'm saying he has a lot of footage of him actually blowing up their ships and killing the cultists. It's going to be pretty hard to discredit the idea that he wasn't tremendously helpful. I don't think anyone's going to buy that.
Well, no, that's not the point. I mean, counting us as prisoners, which is
Well,
if you read
okay,
the
I'm
story,
not saying
yeah,
don't tell.
that's-
I'm not saying don't tell your story. I'm just saying don't try to knock down his, because that's not going to win you any friends.
Yeah.
He was mistaken in his understanding of our part.
You know, we have sort of we have a lot of mission statements here at the ARC. It's kind of a problem, actually. We have too many, really. But one of them is teamwork makes the dream work. So I think the way I'm seeing this play out here in Azobni is that if you suggest that it was a team effort, people are going to be a much more inclined. Besides, he seems like a good guy. I can't imagine him having any problem with that.
We'll see. I mean, right now he's taking all the credit. He may be loath to give up any of that credit to the laudable goals. And
to be fair, when you told me about it, you didn't even mention him.
Yep.
That's fair.
Yep.
Arasto is completely uninterested in any of this. It's just like you guys are worried. What are you worried about? What are you worried will happen? But he will do something that he kind of did from his point of view. There's 49 people on this ship who know exactly what we did. And
Yes.
you know that the press is going to want to talk to them once they reach Azobni.
There's a bunch of requests to speak with him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that can wait a couple of days. What I'm concerned about, Arasto, is the effect on, how can I put this, our careers being basically.
Our career is what?
Well, like for example, okay, by the time we get back to Rogni, well, I guess maybe I don't get to go on this race, or we don't get the commissions that we'd want because, well, we're just prisoners that are rescued. Who wants to hire us?
Are you doing all this with Jade still on the line?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think Jade's here.
I think she's going to say, listen, I can let you all have that conversation on your own, but let me first just cover a couple of key points that are important from my point of view. One is that, of course, I know that you were sent there on an urgent mission to rescue prisoners, and they were working on the behalf of the ARC when you did that, and that you are coming home now with those passengers aboard your ship, safe and sound. That's the important part from my perspective, and so certainly there's not going to be any issue with the agreed upon payment, and I know what you did. Even if it turns out you got help from someone else, that's not bad. That doesn't make it a problem for me. So I just want you to be clear that I'm not saying, how dare you accept help from someone in saving people's lives? No, that's fine. That's fine.
Whoa, Yondu's heart just sunk.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But here, so the other element that I was just going to mention, though, is tell me about Opal Medinavinkin. Did you see her there?
Yes, she was the leader of the cultists.
Did they say what her title was?
She was the hand of
She was a hand?
Gomak.
Gomak.
Wow. There's only 12 of those. I mean, I guess 11 now. I don't know if they replaced them right away when they get burned up. I don't know what their protocol is.
She was killed.
Oh,
Quite exploded.
wow. You saw her yourself then. It wasn't just...
Yes.
We confronted her directly. Actually, Nova Yatella, most of all.
Well, I mean, this is going to sound weird, but, like, did she look okay? What, like...
She was a crazy cult leader who was trying to film us being torn
Killed
apart
by
by electric
laser
Laser.
laser
monster.
monsters. I don't know if there's an okay that can be found there.
Well, I hope none of you take this personally when I just gonna let you all know that, like, for me, that is a real bummer. Opal Vinkin was, she was a rising star in the ARC until she went missing. So the idea that someone like that could be converted and then rise so quickly in that organization, that's really upsetting.
How long ago did she go missing?
Just a few months.
That is
very
that
disturbing.
is a rise.
In any event, it's likewise still a bummer, but kind of worth noting that she did always seem to feel like it was important to have our ARC activities get media coverage. So, her whole scheme there seems on brand, even though she changed allegiances, I guess.
But not tactics.
Okay, well, so I'm sorry that she's dead, but I'm glad that you were able to stop her from hurting more people.
Yeah.
So here's the good news. I think if you can get those people home, you're going to get a hero's welcome, and that this is all going to be fine. So don't overreact.
Yeah. We have a lot to discuss. Thank you for your time, Jade.
Sure.
I'll turn to my companions. Well, we have a problem.
What's
And
that?
I'll put it directly. If we go with the previously thought about plan, we're going to lose out on our social, basically our prestige and our careers, because we won't bring the refugees home. That story gets lost. We're back to basically square one.
Well, to be sure, if you want to highlight the idea that it was you that rescued these people, having them show up on some other ship where you dropped them off early
Exactly.
to go do a
Yeah.
race is-
That's how inarticulately that's Yondu's point. So if we do offload the passengers, that story gets lost and never gets told properly. Opportunity spiked.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think getting basically interviews from the passengers is a
Well, yes,
good idea.
but there's nothing quite like landing on the planet and laying all those people out to fanfare, accolades, and all that stuff. It kind of puts paid to CeeLo Vaxon's story without having to say, "No, you're a liar." No, we brought them all home. But if we offload them onto another ship, that story gets
Well,
Gang.
here's the spanner in that works is the fact that he never said that he was bringing them home.
no, but
He said that he said that he rescued them, and then they didn't even touch about what the ship was, or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that may be because I cut off the reporter, but like I said, that was very weird that he was out here, unless he's traveling with
What, the
Cielo
reporter?
Vaxon.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
he got all of that
yeah.
information from Cielo Vaxon, who contacted
Yeah.
him to meet himself.
Yeah, CeeLo Vaxon makes sense. makes perfect sense as a source.
Yeah, he
Because
he works
yeah.
he works
Yeah.
the news
I
well.
mean, the reporter wasn't going to confirm that, but I'll confirm it that that's
No,
definitely what happened.
no, but yeah,
Like
that's
the footage in the station, especially. I mean, you recognize it because it's not an unusual thing in this world. But he clearly had a personal camera drone following him around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So should I have activated mine when we were in there? Is that the thing? The one that I've got back in my equipment?
If we're going to wind up getting wrapped up in future heroic adventures, then maybe.
Okay.
If we stay just as shipping stuff from A to B, then maybe not. But and I mean that kind of goes back to what does this crew want to do and want to be? What do we want from this life? What do you all want from this life? And that kind of dictates our next actions.
I just want to give people drugs.
I know that, and facilitating that by getting lots of money, fame, and prestige will help you do that.
Money, yes. Fame, See, the thing is that a lot of my activities in the public sector have something of a bad reputation. So fame, no, not really. I mean, I don't want people in my business all the time, filling up my inbox, accosting me on the street, do you have a comment on this? Well, who is this person you're with? Why are they saying such strange things? Why did they fall down? All those questions start becoming a problem. So I'm fine with this, with the fame just passing me by. It's more honestly more trouble than it's worth.
Well, like,
Nova Utella?
no, yeah, I'm looking for something that I can do that is good and doesn't leave me bored. And heroic actions, those are good. Shipping things from place to place, it can be a routine, which can be just as good. But yeah, I've had my time where I've done my service, so I'm not particularly eager to sign up again.
Basket case?
I just
What
like
does
to
basket case
travel.
want?
I just like to travel. See new things. Fix new things.
Break new things.
Great.
No, the breaking is kind of part and parcel with everything. But this trying. It's been a while since Mew has had a crew that was more than me, so this is good.
No, thank you. You left. I left out something in this race for power and glory entirely. Mew, where are you, Mew?
I think just immediately behind you is this little 3-foot plasma ball just bumps into the back of your leg. I'm here.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Mew. So, we're kind of discussing the situation with the capital S and the problems of whether or not we fight for the glory and respect and accolades due us for this mission, or we don't, which kind of leads us down two completely different courses of action. And the question I've been asking everybody now, I ask you, is what do you want from this life? I've never asked a magical intelligence before. This is actually interesting.
I want to be in a spaceship race.
You want to be in a spaceship.
I want to make sure that George is taken care of and is safe.
Okay, those are two very different wants, but okay. And
Muse
here,
is
out
a
of
very
character,
complex ship.
and here out of character, the player is trying to offer. Yes, I will give up my story path if we want fame and fortune. That's basically what's going on here. It's like, yes, if that's what we want, fame and fortune, fight for that. Yes, like, say, heck with my story path. We can just go for fame and fortune for the entire crew. Good of the many outweigh the good of the few. That's where I'm going. In case you're all curious, because I'm realizing I don't want to deprotagonize everybody else by just my story path, and that's not fair. So I'm trying to avoid that unfairness because the GM is offering, yes, if we go back with the passengers and whatnot, everybody could potentially benefit. But yes, I lose a spaceship race and possibly we get upset with our sponsor, but
but it's like it's everyone could potentially benefit depending on what it is that you want, right? Like probably the path of least resistance is to just go ahead and let Cielo Vaxon's story stand, not make a big deal about it, and allow that your involvement to kind of fade out of the story. Which, you know, is not fair from a certain perspective, but it just depends on whether or not you want to be front and center and part of the attention and famous.
And also, there's also the matter of Nova Utella and Nova Utella's rivalry with CL Vaxon, which just kind of runs into if we let.
So how about this? I'm gonna I'm going to say that you get another message from Zaspar that basically says, I think that I can have a space cruise liner rendezvous with you if you can get back, but if it looks like it's not going to work out, do you think that Ciela Vaxon fella would be interested in participating in the race?
Okay. I actually want to do both.
Oh God!
There were other options that you initially backed away from.
Yeah, I kind of want to do both in that I want, this is a very small ship, and if we have the option of getting the people some space where they can breathe and have a door between them and everybody else and give them a place to decompress, multiple bathrooms, that actually rendezvousing with the cruise liner would be better would be better for the passengers, and just say, hey, we can do this, but also Cielo Vaxon would probably like to go in that race.
Well, my thought is, if we offload them onto a cruise liner and we come in, arrive at Zobni with the cruise liner, it's like
no, because the cruise liner is going to be slower because of all the people.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to be in the race, you would have to arrive sooner than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I think that
why I'm having this conversation sooner rather than later, so we can make these decisions or not.
Okay. I was just saying that a cruise liner would be a lot more likely to not be slowed down by a large number of passengers.
But it's also not doesn't have me as a pilot.
True.
Well, there's also you also, at least so far, have not really been engaging much with the media on your own. You could attempt to do some of that too.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, right now you're just ignoring the dozens and dozens of messages that are piling up. And we're saying, you're sitting here, wringing your hands and saying, how do we get the media to understand our side of the story? Message.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Well, how long would it take to get basically interviews and stories and all that from all the passengers?
I mean, you tell me what you want to do. You've got 49 of them.
Well,
some of them probably more interested in talking to cameras than others, but that's fine.
Well, from everybody,
you're welcome to borrow my camera drone if you want, but as I said,
basically from everybody, name, location they will be they want to be returned to, and that kind of stuff. And
We
anybody
need that
who's
information
interested,
anyway, because some of them don't want it, probably are from other places.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is like where they want to be returned to, because that way, once we get back to Zodney, they can go their separate ways, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then anybody who is interested can give a statement on what happened on the Inferno.
One-on-one and interviews, and we can provide those to the media requests and tell our side of the story until such time as we offload them onto the cruise line, or if we don't, if we just go take the slow boat home and do it that way.
Yeah.
But we can do the interviews before that sort of go no go, but kind of want to know now, is it go or no go?
I say let's us offload the passengers, because that and if we get the interviews, we can get our side out, and maybe not paint Seal of Axon as a liar, just
They
someone
didn't see him.
a little over enthusiastic.
Well, they didn't see him. So Yellow Vaxxon who?
Well, I mean, our because I figure we all would, at least Novi Tolo would put in a
Okay, so you're voting liner. Basket
Yeah,
case,
I'm voting Liner.
Arasto.
It depends on when it gets here. Some people need a little more time, but I don't see a problem. I'm running out of drugs anyways.
The rendezvous would be in about 18 hours.
Yeah, that's plenty of time.
Okay, so then we're telling Gaspar that we'll do the liner and boost for Ozagni after offloading the passengers, and then so we got a lot of media work to do in the meantime then.
All right. So you're gonna basically kind of just round everyone up and have them kind of just take turns doing their, your name,
Well,
where you're
whoever-
from, where you want to go, and your statement.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to talk deeper or longer, then we'll give them those opportunities. I mean, between the four of us, we can kind of split up and do more damage that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also imagine the ship has facilities for recording, for making recordings.
All right. So
I brought a camera. Yeah.
yeah. So here's a very important question, and it's one that I'm not trying to trick you guys. I'm trying to say this is something that's important to establish in terms of how everything plays out, which is to say, are you setting it up so that they can report their statement in private, or do you have one of you standing there watching them when they do it?
I'd say private.
Yeah,
Private as well.
Yeah. Let it be private.
Yeah.
so they can be.
Yeah.
They can. Yeah, they don't have to feel like they have to sheet it any particular way because of us looming over them.
Yeah, especially me. I think the only thing that might even look bad is the fact that some of them got hurt when we were fighting
Yeah,
the cultists, but we did give them medical attention afterwards. So
it is the story, warts and all.
yeah,
Seal of Axon didn't hurt any of them.
yeah, but he didn't specifically help any of them either. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
for that matter, like you all certainly know, that if you hadn't been there, how was he going to evacuate all those people? He had the little fighter ship.
yeah.
He
But
didn't
we
have
know
room on
that,
his
but
jet.
the galaxy does not.
Yeah, exactly.
I would paint it as it was a it's the convergence of fate. Someone with the ability to to take on all those cultists, take so much focus, and us with the ship capable of
Oh, yeah.
carrying people.
Oh yeah, in addition to us interviewing them, we should also give statements of our own,
Oh yes, yes.
giving our perspectives on what
All
happened.
right, sure. Okay, so I think especially if all you're really doing is you're just sort of setting up, like you sort of curtain off some area and you sort of set up the camera and you tell everyone to just kind of like form a line and go in there and hit this button when you start and hit it again when you stop. Make sure you cover these three things. Your name, where you want to go back to, and give it just a general statement of what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
So
simple and
yeah.
direct.
Yeah, so I don't know if a role is needed for that because you don't really have to like persuade anyone, right?
Yeah.
Like I think
Yeah,
everyone,
we're not strong armed anybody.
everyone
Well,
certainly understands the need for this, I think.
And
Yeah.
also make it clear that if you don't want to, if for whatever reason you don't want to give a detailed statement, you can just give
just
general.
give your name. Yeah. Even if you just want to give your name and plan of origin, that's it. That's fine.
Yep.
Do you? You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
So I think this does take a while because while there are a few people who don't have a lot to say, there are some that seem like they're in there for a long time.
I was thinking about, keep it to maybe 15 minutes if you're going to give a long, detailed statement. But I didn't say anything about that. So yeah, there are probably.
Yeah, so there are definitely people who are taking a long time, and I think what with that and then just the logistics of everyone stumbling over each other and everything, it does take a fair, most of the remaining time that you have before the rendezvous. I assume you tell Zaspar, yes, send the cruise liner, we're gonna
Yeah.
meet.
Yeah.
So all of that is arranged, the logistics of that. And do you contact any media organizations or anything? Like, who are you sending these videos to once you have them?
I think before we contact the media, I think we need to tell Jade Crucible that the Cosmo Overguild is sending a cruise liner to pick up the passengers, just because our ship does not have the facilities to care for these people like they need to be. So
Yeah, shade it that way.
Yeah.
Don't,
There- so
don't
that's-
tell it's slant. Yeah, don't tell it's because we really want to get back there fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Well.
Jade is all about that because as you can tell when you talk to her, like caring for these people is her first priority. Whatever's best
Yeah.
for them is she's
Yeah.
going to be okay with.
Yeah,
And I think it's hard to argue really in this case. Like, hey, let's make them stay on this cramped ship with us for 2 more weeks so that we can take the credit. Is probably
Yeah.
not going to go over as well, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So-
there is that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Also,
yeah.
Mike, as to who we contact, well, we already have, we already have a name we know, Spiro.
do we really want to contact him though?
No,
Well-
I don't think so. I don't know if Spiro's going to want to publish a competing narrative. Spiro's kind of invested in the Cito of Vaxa narrative.
Okay.
But there's plenty of other reporters and media outlets that we can mine. And I mean, if they want to go back and forth with each other afterwards, that's only redounds to our benefit. So I think we find somebody of similar rank and quality and give it to them. I mean, there's got to be if this place is like the
Well, like
the
I
New York
said, you
Times.
are accumulating by the minute contact requests, so you can certainly just weed through those.
do a little searching and find
Yeah.
who's the Marine Dowd or whatever of this planet that we can contact instead as to present our side of the story and the passengers.
Okay, so here's I think that's easy enough to do. You contact the Space Washington Post.
Where's our Woodward?
You know,
Where's our Woodward?
the Galaxy New York Times.
Alexis times.
Yeah. Yeah, Alexis CNN. The So I think you can certainly do that. But here's another question. When you each give your own statement, what do you say? Now, I'm going to say that if you're just going to give just like a recitation of the exact facts as you know them, there's no role involved with that. But if you want to kind of try to give it any kind of a spin, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I don't think Basket Case would give a statement.
Okay.
He already talked to a member of the press. It left a bad taste in his mouth. He didn't. He's like, no, you guys, you breathe, go.
I mean, I might highlight my piloting getting away from the station, but I know that kind of interferes with Cielo Vaxon's narrative. But A, I'm a pilot, and B, yes, I saved all of us by some fancy flying. So yes, I'm going to talk about that.
Sure.
I'm not going to lie.
Let's see a complexity too to try to have that come across.
What's that?
A complexity too to have that come across that it was expert flying on your part that was critical in this.
All right. What would be? Let's see. It's not to see. I'm not really lying. Presence. Yeah.
Presence would work, but you could also
I was trying to look for a way to use
your actual piloting skill, for example, could certainly qualify because you're just talking about like the technical aspects of it, or what you're talking about. You know.
Let's go for presence. You know.
Okay. Sure.
I'm a hero. I'm not saying I'm the hero. I'm like I'm a hero.
Too.
All right. Yeah. So that's a success. I think you feel like in your statement you are really able to convey the point that even everything else aside, it really took some hotshot flying to get out of there in one piece with all these people aboard, and that and you managed to do it without coming across as like bragging or petulant about it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
And I think Nobody Told would like to basically put emphasis on, that, we both went into there knowing that each other was, both the Mew and Cielo Vaxon went in knowing that, hey, we are planning on getting on rescuing people.
Okay.
And that, while it might not have been planned, it was in the end a team effort. Well.
So here I'm going to ask you a question. And this is a character question, but I'm asking the player on behalf of the character.
Yeah.
Does it rankle Nova Utala enough to try to play this off as, no, we were a team helping each other? Does that bother enough to make this a higher complexity role?
Well, it's if it would normally start out as a 2, it's already going to be a 3 because of her moderate condition.
Okay, well, but that would be a separate thing, though. I'm asking you just on the basis. This is like, I'm not telling you that it will be an extra level of difficulty. I'm asking how Nova Utala feels, because the decision to spin this the way that Jade Crucible suggested, which is it was a team effort. I'm not trying to slam anything he did. It's all just a matter of we both knew that this was like a pincer attack and we needed both pieces to get this done. Like, because A, that's kind of not actually what really happened, but also the idea of letting him have that. Like, does that bother Nova Utala enough that we can represent it mechanically? We don't have to, but it's just a question about how Nova Utala is feeling about that direction.
I'm going to say no, because there actually was part of the plan waiting for Cielo Vaxon's started distraction to go on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's close, but it's
Yeah.
not.
So I wasn't really going with the idea that like it's because it's not a lie. It's
No.
kind of it's spin, right? But
Yeah.
but it was more just a matter of like, it's like if you feel like you hate him so much that you just can't keep it out of your voice, that it's
Yeah. It. Yeah.
Maybe we're not to that point yet.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that I'm thinking it's like, she might she might fall back into kind of military cadence of speech,
Sure.
but it yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I guess that's complexity 3 because of the condition.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do decorum because this credit.
Yeah.
Credit
You're
where credit's
giving
due.
it like a military debrief.
Yeah.
You're used to doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
That's a failure, though.
Oh.
So how does it fail? Like I'm going to let you decide how your intentions go awry when giving this statement.
Oh.
Or if you want, you can have it go from your perspective just fine, and you come away with it saying, yes, that's exactly how I wanted it to go, and that I will build the failure into some other thing. Or you can decide that, like, again, this is the player deciding for the character, like, what went wrong here?
I think she can't help but drop hints that that basically if he had basically if there'd been some back and forth between the two of us, then it might have actually gone smooth. There's a good chance there would have been fewer injuries and no innocent deaths, and that kind of thing. Basically, it's like he's a what you're the police drama of like, you're a wild cannon, turn in your bad kind of attitude.
So like I think I get the impression that basically how this plays out is that you keep getting like you're relying on sort of the military protocol and that type of language, but the passive aggressive is sneaking in there, and you just kind of say, it was ultimately a very effective, two-phase maneuver where Cielo Vaxon, engaged with the fighter ships and then made sure that the hangar was destroyed, drawing many of the cultists away. And of course, if he had contacted us at a given point, we could have been more prepared. But of course, he was busy, I'm sure. But if we we did have some snafus that were the result of the poor communication on his part. But ultimately, though, it was actually understandable that and it's just kind of like you keep kind of sliding those things in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll let you decide how aware Nova Itala is, like, because I feel like if she really was super aware that it didn't go great, she could redo it. But
yeah, I'm gonna say she knows it's not the best she's done.
Okay. I mean, there's time. Would she just re-record it?
I think it'd be
I will let you re-roll it, but with essentially increased stakes.
I'm gonna say that she records it, say that could have been done, but how? And basically, and she actually forgets to re-record it. And so basically, it does go in.
What I had actually decided was that I would let you re-roll it, but you would have to use a different skill.
Yeah.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, I might as well. So, still the same difficulty,
Yeah.
same complexity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gonna try with suave.
All right.
Maybe smooth talk a bit.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah. So how does this one play out differently?
uh, she, she tempers her annoyance with it by just going a little bit, when I, well,
So may
Yeah.
I suggest that you radiate in this one instead of the stiff military protocol? It's much more the world-weary retired general telling war stories, and just there's the gravitas of like I've been there. This is definitely a no plan survives contact with the enemy type of situation. So yeah, there were
yeah,
some hiccups, but overall, we both went in there. We came out with 49 rescued people. That's the goal.
yeah,
Like I think you come across much more cool that way as opposed to that first one where, you know, where you came across as like stiff and a little bit bitter.
yeah. And I go ahead and I make sure the two files are named completely different, so that I know not to send the first one.
Yeah.
Important.
All right. Did anyone else want to? Did you want to make a statement, Erasta?
Arasto is staying away from all the cameras as much as possible.
All right. All right.
Rosso wants to be in the shadows.
Yeah. So I think that your experience of this whole bit, I want to know, is there even a moment in Erasto's mind where he sees his blissed out passengers that he's been helping get in line and then go into the curtained area and then be in there for a while and then come back out and recognize, like, is that going to be okay?
I'm sure it's all due to the stress and disorientation from the traumatic experience that they've had.
Maybe save the ones that have been Erasto's pet projects for last.
Well,
Give them time to sober up.
all right. So what I'm going to offer is that are they going to sober up, or like?
I think 18 hours is a long time to stay high.
Well, I don't know what you're doing.
No, yeah, he's not. He's not.
Well,
this
so,
is not something that he was planning on doing for a huge.
yeah. Okay.
length of
Well,
time.
so here's what I'm going to offer then. I'd like a complexity 3 for how well these passengers do when they start to come off of this whole thing.
Okay, I'm gonna roll perception, so that for Erasto's ability to spot problems before they become serious.
Yeah. Size up each person and know what kind of dosage they need.
Yep, and see if they need a little help getting back to normal.
All right. Yeah. So you think that it was pretty. Everyone seems pretty steady by the time they actually take their turn.
Good.
Yeah. So I think if any of the rest of you had any concerns, at the very least, once they actually are going in to do their video, there's nothing like obviously like they're not slurring their speech or stumbling over each other or anything like that.
Right.
That's not nothing. That's good.
They definitely seem calmer, and less obviously like fatigued and stressed than the others.
Though there's been known to be memory problems with some of these things, but you've got like all these other people who've got their stories straight, so I'm sure it won't be a problem.
All right, so I think that takes up most of the time, though. Was anyone else? I think probably a lot of you were having to kind of manage all of that. But is anyone else doing anything that would take place during this time before you offload the passengers?
No, I think we have a pretty full plate as it is.
Yeah.
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 Just making sure I know where George is.
Yeah.
So he doesn't try to offload himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad if we have to go chasing after George.
Actually, has George left your cockpit since?
So I put the little icon back in the terrarium, but I mean, in theory, you could have had him in your cockpit all this time.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what his what Basket Case's
I'm
impression
actually,
was.
I'm gonna say that if your original intent was to keep him in your cockpit, that at some point Mew would start like rolling up along like your like up just up the side of your leg. His gravity is it's nothing. He's a projection, right? So he just go like roll up your and like get up on your shoulder and say, "I can't see George in there."
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I just so crack open the cockpit so that Mew can see that he's happily chewing on the chair.
Mew gets into the cockpit too
Yeah.
and stays there.
I am so glad that the ship gets along with George.
Yeah, the question is, whose pet is George? Use
Well-
basket cases.
It's
Well,
not
no.
new story path.
No, well, no, but consider this. The way we've set it up is that actually the entire crew is Mew's pets.
Okay.
So
He's excited
George
about the
just
new
happens to be the small and cute and fuzzy version.
It's the one that hasn't been completely figured out yet, too.
Yes.
So on that note, keeping George in your cockpit for an extended period like this, I think I need a complexity 3 to try to. How is that going? Like, are you interacting with him during that time? Is he getting comfortable in there? Do you give him food and water? Like, what are you doing with him in your cockpit for 24 hours?
I think that I've since the terrarium has been upgraded, I have used my repaired laser sword to cut off a section of the old terrarium to make sure that he has food and spare wires and such that he wanted to eat, and so I changed those. I make sure that he has fresh every day.
Incidentally, as had been the pattern from before, he'll eat something happily one time, and then the next time he doesn't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Rotating diet.
Yeah. So just still trying to figure out what it is that he likes, and when I'm down on just try. Really, I'm just trying to keep him safe and to keep him from getting stepped on and from people getting hurt because he gets scared.
Yeah.
So I think that I am, trying to very calmly talk to him and keep everything, quiet and stuff. But
Okay.
but yeah, still trying to figure out what his favorite food is and stuff. So.
Sure.
I figure he's probably nibbled on the upholstery a couple of times, and maybe some of the casings. I'm definitely going to need some repairs on that cockpit.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
At some point in
I
time.
think Peacecraft are probably self-repairing for that sort of thing, right? Like it's like any of the other species, their body would heal. I think it's like that. Maybe it doesn't look quite the same.
Yeah, maybe I have to flood my cockpit with those nano machines,
Yeah.
and they take care of it. I think I'm going to use presence,
Okay.
just because it is all about how I am presenting myself to George as a safe and reliable place to be.
Yeah.
Cross your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And it said 3.
Yeah.
Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, me too. Oh no!
Oh.
The only roll I've had today. Oh crap.
Well, no. Okay. I was like, I wanted that to go well too. I'm sorry, but I think, yeah, you're finding that he's not acclimatizing as much as you would hope. It feels like there must still be something missing that he needs, and he doesn't, like, he doesn't seem like actively scared, but he does seem kind of restless. Like he's still just trying to move around and do other things, and you're having to kind of keep him sort of closed up so he doesn't like get underfoot or get hurt or bite someone. But he seems like he's looking for something and he's not finding it, and he's not scared or stressed, but he's just not. He doesn't seem like he's settling in as much as you hoped so far.
Okay. Alrighty.
You'll have to try to figure out what he needs.
The course
Yeah.
of true petship never did run true.
Yeah. Maybe when we get back to Azobni, I can do some additional research.
Well, I mean, you're presumably going to have some time.
Yeah.
You could do ComplaNet research. But yeah, so I think that'll probably cover at least this current time period. And too, that at least right now, you're having to keep him cooped up more than you normally would because there's so many other people around. And so once you can let him have a little bit more freedom, maybe he'll open up a little. So, okay, so I think. And did anyone else have anything that they wanted to do during this time? It's pretty busy with everyone crowded around, and I feel like even just in this amount of time, you're already starting to, really notice suddenly having to wait in line to use the bathroom. The food is blander. You're realizing that the air circulation is still, it's still operating under, like, safe parameters, but it's fewer recycling, fewer circulations per hour than before because it's saving energy. And so they're, like, you do start to smell people. Like, it's not bad, but you can also say, like, this is only 18 hours.
Yeah. Thank God for the cruise liner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention that, like, not to say anything about whatever their hygiene level might have been when they were taken, but since then, they were prisoners for 2 weeks on the cultist ship and then went through very stressful situations on the station. Like, people are not, at their cleanest. But yeah, so in any event, though, by the time you are coming up to rendezvous and dock with this great big, space cruise liner, it's all been arranged. Did you decide? Did you go ahead and transmit all of those videos to the, your media contact of choice?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
That was the plan.
Let's have someone make a computers check, or not. It doesn't have to be computers, I guess. Just complexity to check for transmitting all of that different information, because it's a lot of different individual files and so on.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. Yeah. All right. No problem. You even spot, like, hey, there's 2 files for Nova Utala.
You're the one with the 2 by it. The 2.
You're a perfectionist, aren't you? You didn't like your first one, did you?
Yeah. So I think there's no problem there. You notice, but like I think you correctly interpret that like that probably means the second one is the right one. Or you could even ask, God forbid.
Yeah, if you ask, you definitely say, "Oh yes, number 2."
Yeah. Number two, the title of the file is "Send this one."
All right, so yeah, so you send that, and I would imagine that there's some quick back and forths of, making sure that they're prepared to receive that information. You're letting them know, in order to best care for these passengers and give them the best conditions. You have rendezvoused with this liner, which has all been arranged by the Cosmo Overguild, and you're basically being very upfront and transparent about all of that information.
Yeah.
And there's no reason not to be, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you are actually doing the right thing for the right reasons in the right ways. So
Yeah. And maybe give credit to our contact with the Cosmo Overguild for going ahead and arranging this, and they really stepped up to the plate,
Team
that
effort.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they were, and they're, so yeah, just to give him some good PR, since he was trying to swing us good PR too.
Yeah, he's a little cross with us. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like it's not so much like he wasn't cross with you as much as it was more like he thought you're all on the same page, and then it seemed like maybe you really weren't. And then the whole thing was just turning a lot more complicated than he expected, and so he was a little short. But I think by the time you've rendezvoused with this cruise ship and you're unloading all of these passengers, I think by that point he's definitely calmer, especially since all of this means you will be able to come back in time for competing in the race. So he does, he's very excited about that, and he does though say it's just as well because as I'll confess, I was thinking about whether or not it would be feasible to recruit Cielo Vaxen if you were not able to participate as planned, but it seems as though he has already been recruited by some other organization, so he will be competing in the race as well.
All right, so that's
Easy,
two
nobody
people.
Easy, Nobunizella. Easy. Calm down. You might want to see your roster now.
As a character, I was just looking at the requirements for the story path, and it's like kind of running the almost like we're ready that down real fast.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes. So let's see. I didn't delete any. Oh, I think I deleted Nova Utella by accident. With
And
all of the
Urzaz, or did you?
No,
Oh,
Urzaz is still there on the little gunship. But yeah, so I think we've had Urzaz kind of in the background, like just keeping to themselves this time. But I guess presumably they do stay on the ship when the others leave. They, I would like to. I'm not going to do James's voice. He would basically say he would like to repay the rescue. By helping with the race, if you'll have him.
I vote yeah.
All right, so you have all of the passengers. You bid them farewell. You have transmitted their interviews to the media. I want to know what your ongoing strategy regarding the media is going to be, because you're not gonna stop getting those requests just because you send all of those videos, right? Because those are all sort of relatively dry by comparison, right? Like people giving their own statements, but there's no back and forth. Although you have no doubt like some of those are going to get edited together into other news pieces and that sort of thing. But are you going to basically say, that's our media contribution and now we're done, or are how are you handling all the other requests?
Hmm. Oh,
I
I don't
think
know.
once you send a substantial amount to one source in particular, I think some of it dries up, but there's still a lot of requests. What they want is like personal interviews. They want to just get more gruesome detail. Um, all sorts of background stuff. I mean, I
Yeah.
think Jade Crucible says, basically, well, I'll just encourage you to handle that however you see fit. I just hope that, if the ARC comes up, then you can try to just speak positively of it. But, obviously don't say anything that's not true.
Clear. So I think we should all discuss what are the bounds in which we should expect each other to go as far as, so we know we're not thrown unexpectedly by someone going outside what we say. So I
I think
think
Zaspar is going to just say, um, obviously, this is a complex, evolving story, so I don't know what might happen with it right now. You might be best served by keeping an air of mystery about the whole thing, but it's also possible that that lets others control the narrative.
which has already started to occur. So yeah, there is a competing narrative already in place here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think nobody told us. Nobody told in particular is not going to give any particular interviews. Like,
Yeah. I think just let Seal of Axon have this one.
Yeah.
Let it stand as is, and if he wants to be the front man, then he can be the front man for it.
Yeah, I can take him on in other arenas.
Okay, I know he gets under your skin, Nova Utella. So trying
All
to
right.
be
So I think we will end tonight's story session with you kind of flipping through channels, seeing all the different ways this story is continuing to grow and spin and evolve now that all of those other videos start to come out. Because while obviously a lot of those testimonials absolutely do have them tell, the story from your side, which is they didn't ever even see what Seal of Action was doing. They didn't even know it. All they knew is that there were people who came into the station and fought the cultists and saved them and led them to safety. And so that's, from their perspective, you're the ones that rescued them, no question about it. There are some that in the process of describing their feelings of that nature do kind of mention is like, well, there was the part where I almost died from a fireball because one of the cultists blew up too close to me when they were fighting. And then another one is saying, and you know what? After negotiations with the cultists in the cafeteria broke down, they shot me with a laser beam, and I'm pretty sure my heart stopped beating. But they did help me. They did bring me back, and now I've got this cool scar.
oh my god.
And so there's some of that too, right? And
Yeah.
then there is actually a strange conspiracy theory that starts spinning up in some places where people are starting to say, were some of the rescued prisoners drugged? And people starting to make all of these little like explainers, like, look here, you can clearly see that the Eno's eyes are dilated inappropriately compared to the lighting in the room, and and over there, look how droopy those Ronan bugs are, and it's like.
No.
I would like to yellow card that
Oh, okay,
because it's
okay.
a little close to stuff that's going on that I'm
Fair. Okay,
not
that's
happy with.
that's fine. Yeah, no problem. We can. Do you want to have that not be a thing at all? What?
Well, I'd just rather not have it be some. I mean,
Okay, so I'll
We
back
know how
off
the
the
media does
conspiracy.
things.
Okay.
I just rather not have it part of the narrative and have much
Okay.
focus.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally cool. What I was going with, and we can talk about how to better do this, is having, because of your story path, having there
Oh yeah,
be adding problems, more problems as a result of what you were doing.
right. No, yeah, I get that, and
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a problem with it being part of the story. What I
Okay,
just want to skip it. I want to skip past it, summarize, and
all
move
right,
on.
sure, that's fine. So I think what we'll just say is, in some circles, there are people who seem to observe and be critical that some of the passengers seem to be drugged on mystery drugs by who knows who,
Right.
and that force in some circles taints some aspects of the rescue and
Yeah.
raises questions about the veracity of the story. And we can just leave it at that.
Okay.
All right. Well, no, I mean, like, I'm 100% happy. I'm glad we can use the safety tools as provided. Is that work? Is that
And that works for me. Yep.
great? Okay, good. All right, so I think we'll finish the story session there then. So let's talk about story paths. Anyone feel like they
Has
got some
things
this
gone
time?
wrong enough um, for Arasto's too much of a good thing level of his
Well, so yeah,
story?
let's talk about it a little bit because I think I was starting to have it be more, but we can talk about whether or not we feel like just having some of the shine be off a little bit. Is that enough? Like, let's talk about it. Like, how do I think how would some of so maybe what part of it is that some of the rest of the crew maybe has some feelings about like.
Yeah, I was hoping that some of the crew would. Maybe this is something we can do like the beginning of next session
Okay.
of some of the crew coming back and going, okay,
Yeah.
this is
So
going a little too far.
right, like some of the
Especially with the consumption, he's pretty much used up anything pharmaceutical on the ship,
mhm.
and we're going to take some time to recover the ship's supplies. I was hoping that somebody would kind of pick up on that, but
Yeah.
um,
Well, we're not in a place.
all the stuff with the media going on, it was hard to get a scene like that in edgewise.
Yeah, I think it was. Apparent, but between the injured passengers and medicating those with the high anxiety, I think it was kind of expected, and that's why there wasn't a scene like that.
And also they didn't. The rest of the crew kind of didn't know everything
Well,
that he
yeah.
had
So
done.
here's maybe what I'll suggest a little bit is that from the perspective of the rest of you, you're kind of just trusting that Erasto knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's saying, these people have anxiety, I can help. And he knows what he's doing. He's giving them stuff. They seem like they feel better. So, good,
Yeah.
right? But I think maybe part of what happens is that a couple of interviews come out with the doctors on the cruise liner who have been, giving physicals to everyone, making sure everyone's okay. And a couple of them have, interviews where they're kind of like, and to be really honest, it would have been a lot easier to do some of these examinations if they hadn't been pumped full of who knows what chemicals by the I don't even know if he is a doctor on the Mew. Like, I mean, I'm glad that they're okay, but there's really a lot of complicated interactions here, and it's really kind of a mess that we're having to clean up. Is that feel okay?
That's kind of more what I was expecting to have happen.
Okay. So so maybe I think when the rest of you like see some of that, you start to understand a little bit more that maybe Erasto is not following standard medical protocols.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going
Maybe
beyond.
we can have
Yeah, we tell
That
No,
seemed
we
like
probably
that
had the
beginning in that session.
Yeah.
had the thing where, yeah, not mechanically, but but flavor wise, helping to calm that one piece cracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
was that needed?
Mhm.
What were you? What was he on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I think the ramifications haven't really, like, we can kind of
Yeah, we
like,
haven't we haven't gone far enough into the things get bad
yeah.
to hit his third phase yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
All right. Who else?
Okay, somebody else.
I don't think Basket Case hit another one of his milestones for George.
Yeah, like it was one of those things where I feel like if that role had been a success, then maybe that could
Yeah.
have been quality time or something like that. But,
Yeah.
you
No.
know, you're working on it though. You're making progress there.
Yeah, we're just happy George can be back in his little terrarium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Or maybe he's not and he's exploring the ship.
Oh.
Everybody, watch out.
Oh, are we bringing out the safety card again, or is that?
No, I'm trying to put it back in the deck.
Oh,
and I can't figure it out.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's recall, and I can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I am actually really glad though. Like, this is a real time use of the safety tools. That's good. But yeah. So I mean, Yondu, like, curveball, right?
Yes, I finally get a story path event. It didn't happen last time.
I mean, this is the second one. You got the first one from.
Right, all right. It's just like last time everybody got, and I was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, what?
Yeah, well,
But this time,
it's
yeah.
kind of like we just said with Erasto. Like, you can see on the horizon what it's going to be, but you could, but it, didn't happen until you resolved it, which you did this time. Which is the extra passengers delaying your arrival. Yeah. What does that give you?
It gives me a increase in one of my mental die. So I'm going to go with. I've been batting it back and forth. Whether I want computers as 12 would make me the super pilot or shore up something weaker.
Well, the one thing to remember is that you still always need to have one of each size. Because
Right. Otherwise,
you
I
can't
can never get a Nova point.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm going to go perception up to a D8.
Nice.
The strategy that I'm looking at for these is to have one each 4, 6, 8, 10 in each of mental, physical, social, so that kind of have something to pick of the die size that I want
In any particular,
in a broad situation.
Because if you only had one D4, then you kind of have to use that every time you want a D4 for your Nova point. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm going to move perception up to a D8. So then I have that'll do.
So where did there we go. So Nova Utala, your next one was a complete with a
Admiration
reminder
of
of why
Pan.
you don't like your rival. I mean, I think that certainly.
Yeah, it's Glory Hound.
Oh, shucks! I'm just doing what my mama told me.
Liar.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you never know. He might be telling the truth. His mama might have told him that.
Yeah, still. And that gets me a species ability.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh,
Do you
wow,
know what you
that's-
want to pick?
That's sweet.
I feel like those in the Nova are a little more exciting to choose from. Like, the dice is fun, but it's just numbers, like knowing you're better at something is good,
well,
but new abilities are cool.
New ability.
It's not giving me an option to choose.
Yeah, the character mancer didn't work for me last time.
Hang on. Let me.
Like
Where's
the rivalry summary shows up, but
Yeah, I actually that's weird. When I'm looking at your character sheet, it doesn't show the story path thing at all.
Well, I'm currently viewing the character mancer for it, so
Okay,
maybe that does something.
maybe. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing. Um, so the choose a reward category is gain a special ability, right? So you pull
Yeah.
that down.
Well, the drop down thing has choose a reward, and that's the only option.
Well, so you do pull. I'm looking at it, and so it has the below the outcome. Um, is that not at the is? So you checked it, and then
I checked it, and the character mancer thing opened up,
okay.
and it has congratulations on completing a story event, and then and then has story rivalry event, the admiration of fans. Select one ability from your special ability from your species,
Okay.
and then it has drop down box of where the only option is to choose a reward.
Okay. Well, what if you select that?
Nothing. It just
Okay.
the default the default display option is the only thing that.
Okay. Well, I mean I can't see what you're seeing, so I don't know. But I mean you should be able to go to the codex to look, and you can drag the ability. You can pick the ability and drag it on there. I mean, it might be that that's what it's expecting you to do.
Yeah, it's actually go in and change it. You mark it on the story path. That's what I did when I changed the die size. I marked it on the story path. I did that, but they actually manually changed it in the sheet. I wonder if special abilities do the same thing. You just got to manually.
Yeah, because the special abilities are drag and drop. You can drag them onto your character sheet.
Wow. Advantage position. When the team has 6 or more advantages banked, increase the damage done by all of your allies' attacks by 1.
Well, so hang on. Make sure you're looking at the ones that are
I know.
abilities. Okay.
That isn't.
Okay.
Wow.
I know when you go to the codex tab and you just look at special abilities, it lists all of them. And not all of them are Yeah, advantaged position is not an Eno. Oh wait, no, it is. Okay, it's just not in alphabetical order on this other table for some reason. It is there. Never mind. Oh, it's not. It's not at the top because it requires the pressing the advantage skill first.
Okay. On the compendium list, it's just by name.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay.
I see.
Yeah. So I'm pulling up the Eno thing in the codex here, and so there's. Yeah. So what I was looking at here is that pressing the advantage and advantaged position. Advantaged position is at the bottom of the list. I was assuming it would be the top alphabetically. That's all.
Ooh. Eno aid. Before an ally makes a skill roll, you can spend 1 advantage to reduce the complexity of a skill roll made by 1 to a minimum of 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basic ability, so I like that.
Yeah. So you would need to you spend an advantage. So it's again you guys need the advantages. Incidentally, one of the things that I found out since we talked a little bit last time about how how important it is to try to have a couple of advantages banked is that Zvoy, for example, have a whole lot of special abilities that focus around getting advantages for all sorts of different things. So
Yeah, I mean, one I haven't been able to use because we've had such usually not a lot of advantages. I have crystal rejuvenation by end my turn without failing a skill roll, I could spend an advantage to restore a health level, which I would like to do, but we in a position where I could actually spend that advantage to get myself off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something we need to do. I think,
Yeah, we need to be better about that.
yeah, I think Ursas actually made his story point as well. Because he officially did join us.
Well, yeah, but I'm not gonna. He doesn't get a story point when he's not here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he got one last time, so
Yeah.
like he doesn't get another one for not being here. Like that doesn't.
aw.
No, you don't.
I tried,
participate, you don't
James.
get a trophy. That's all there is
Right.
to it.
The whole point of the story path is to get to experience the story of your character. So
Yeah.
no.
Okay, I got it added in.
Okay, good. All right. So that was, and then we decided that Erastos is on the horizon, but not there yet. Basket Case is working on it. So good. So we'll leave it there, and so I think that'll probably do it for this session. So good night, everyone, and we'll be back next week for more Bryte.
Burning daylight!
Yes.